Hello, my name is Deatrice Benicia Williams, stage name Nisha the Lovely, and I am a poet. I'd like to begin with telling you a little bit about my background and how I got started with writing. I've always been in love with writing since I was a child, so I can remember my first card or my first poem early as age 4. And by age 7, I was writing all kinds of stories and letters to my mom just to express my love. In first and second grade, unfortunately, I was diagnosed with dyslexia, but I never let that prevent me from writing. It never took away my passion. It only made me want to do it even more. So I received, I guess you can call writing lessons, because for a while it was really difficult for me to distinguish the letter E from the number 3 or the letter S from the number 5. So I had a few challenges here and there throughout grade school, but it never prevented me from writing, and it surely didn't take away from the fact that literature is just amazing to me. I would just leave letters all around the house. You know, I took such pride in my letters. I would make them really fancy, and I would design these beautiful cards, and we would have visitors that would come over, and my mom would be so proud, to show them my little craft works. And it's something that I dreamt of as a child, pursuing as an adult. Unfortunately, I'll say about time I made it to junior high school, my world had changed. So my love of writing, it went from just doing it for the creative side to doing it for therapy. My first year in junior high was a real struggle. Drugs were introduced to my family. And so the world that I knew had become very dark. The girl that I was, really happy and spunky and outgoing and just full of love and joy, I had turned into a solemn child. I was very introverted, and I didn't feel like I had anything to share. So all the poems and all the letters and all the cards that I once gave away for joy and just to get a reaction, in my first grade of junior high, I just kind of balled up and I kept everything to myself. And I just felt like I didn't have anything to say, or I didn't have anything to write. I was a victim of molestation. By my 8th grade year, I had been raped by my stepdad. Drugs were really heavy in and out of our home. My older brother, who was like my hero, he decided to venture out, leaving behind me and my younger brother and my mother, kind of to fend for ourselves in this new world. So my writing became my voice. By the first year in high school, I was silent. I didn't feel like I had anything to give. I didn't feel like I had anything to say. I stayed to myself, and the only time that I would write or I would share my thoughts would be if I was to write a prayer. I would put my prayers together, and I put almost like I was talking to my inner child, the girl that I knew was once there. I would pray for her, I would talk to her, and then I would write down letters to my mother, which I wouldn't give to her, but eventually they became poems. And I would keep this, and it made me feel comforted. It just really touched my own soul. It's like I was nursing myself. And I held on to those poems. I held on to them, and I just kept them, because whenever I felt like I was at my lowest point at such an early age, I would turn back to my own writings, and they were like scriptures to me. And I would just read them, and then I think, okay, this is where I was yesterday. This is where I am today. I'm grateful because I'm still here, and I believe by faith that I have a purpose. Just holding on to that faith and holding on to those writings, it really helped me to keep on going. Really just to keep going. I'll say about my 10th grade year in high school, with no voice at all, feeling like I was just defeated. And that's pretty early. Most folks in high school, you have your peers, you have all these events you're looking forward to, you're just full of joy, and you're eager, you're ready. I wasn't. But I met a group of girls who seemed pretty down to earth. I wanted to shield myself away from the in crowd, but I met a group of girls who were really, really grounded, and we were all Christians. So we had some things in common. And one day we decided to have just a little intimate talk, to find out who we really were, beyond the laughter, beyond the things that we had in common, but beyond church. And I got to know these girls for who they were internally, and I got to find out that I wasn't alone. As unfortunate as it is, I found out that molestation, it occurs very regularly. It isn't as taboo as I thought. I found out that drug abuse, it's something that's real. A lot of families are divided and destroyed by it, but I wasn't alone. And it wasn't like misery loves company, but I just felt like amongst this sea of peers, finally someone could relate to me. I could go and cry on someone's shoulder without being embarrassed, without being ashamed, without being ridiculed. So I wondered, like, at this time, what can I give to this group? What can I do to uplift us and tell us to keep on going? Since I had that inner peace, since I had that courage to keep going myself, what could I contribute to this group of peers that would help them see that we all have purpose? And one day out of nowhere, I decided to share with them some of my writings. And I really think that that's what, to this day, the reaction that I received from them by sharing my writings, that's what keeps me going. That's why I have a hunger, a desire in my soul to share my writings today with the world. I really feel like God gave me a message, and my message is no matter what you're going through or no matter what you've gone through, you can make it. Just keep your faith. Whatever your faith is, keep it, because it's all we have. Hold on to it. And if you know that you have a purpose, you'll be determined to see the next day. And then from there, you'll be determined to help someone else out. And that within itself is the purpose. I like to share this particular piece called Dark Child Smile that I wrote. And this poem is talking to all children, especially my beautiful, beautiful brown children, beautiful black children. Just know that you are so special, no matter what. Dark child, hold your brown face up high. Why are you looking down? Uplift your spirit by marveling the glorious sky as gravity secures your place on this ground. Need I remind you of how magnificent you are? Because it would be my pleasure to inform or remind your diamond mind that your ebony is treasured. Undress your shell to expose your soul, accepting the radiance of your heart of gold. You are of a lineage ingenuously bright, strong, revolutionary, and definitely godlike. That skin that you're in is tough as leather. Your hair is full and coarse. Your stature solid, muscled, and thick, rightfully built to resist any force. Your mouth is wide with lips defined. Your voice is high and loud. God made you like this, so ignorant, ignore the naysays. You're beautiful, black, and proud. Your mind is brilliant. Your body and soul is resilient. There is nothing that you can't conquer or achieve. You have the natural ability to break the glass ceiling. If you attempt, if you do, you will achieve. And fear not expression. It only helps heal. In this world filled with trials and sorrow, you have the ability to write and edit your own story. Don't yield or depend on tomorrow. My dear sweet chocolate, I know who you are. I've fought those same battles. I've worn those same scars. I've cried those same tears. I've felt that same shame. I've asked those same questions and tolerated the same pain. And I mean lessons I've learned, my beautiful shades of brown, is that I couldn't see above my shadow with my head constantly hanging down. So uplift your essence and hold your head up high. Don't fear the storms and the clouds overhead, for they're only passing by. When circumstances arise beyond your control, give it to God, the guardian of your soul. At times you will stumble, other times you will cry. But beautiful dark child, please hold your beautiful brown face up high. So my style of writing is rhyming schemes, and I prefer writing encouraging, uplifting poetry, just to encourage my readers. Most of my readership is women and youth. So I focus on that audience because I feel like I have so much compassion and empathy for that particular audience. For children, we need guidance, and so many lack the support of active parents. For women, we just endure so much on a daily basis, and I don't take away from the brothers. I hear all the time, and I know it's just as hard. But for women, we endure so much. We are the soul systems, we are the backbones, and at the same time, we receive so little credit for what we do. For the sisters and the youth that are being abused, you have to go outside and paint on that face like everything is okay. For the mothers who are struggling, you have your children to think about, and sometimes you have to go in the bathroom, close the door, and cry because you don't want the children to see that face. So I like to write to encourage those who are going through, and more so because I can relate to that particular audience. Again, rhyme and scheme is something that I prefer. It simplifies the message. Even when it's something really deep, something profound, it just softens the message enough so that you can follow it, you can get the words, you can also enjoy it. On the other hand, I am pretty versatile in my writing, so I touch bases on a lot of different subjects. I even go off into erotica. It's just because writing is such a passion of mine. I want to make sure that I can speak to anyone at any level, at any event. Creativity to me is from the soul. It's of the soul. It is the mind interpretation of what the soul sees, what the soul wants to do. It's what's inside of you. And I feel that all artists, when they express themselves, when they do their crafts, it's all what's inside of them that's coming out. It isn't something that they've just visualized in their mind. It's actually their essence. And whether they're painting or they're writing or they're singing, this is what's inside of their soul. And I think that we're all creative. I think that we all have a passion for something, and our soul, it has a mission, it has a purpose. And if we would just sit in silence and just pay attention to that, we're all artists. We all have a message. We all have a vision. And we all are someone. We're not flesh. We're souls. So whatever you do, that's your craft. It's who you are. It's what you are. It's your purpose, and it's coming from your soul. I'm very new to sharing my poetry. I'm still a baby at this. I'm an infant, but I'm eager to grow. I'm eager to learn and to network with other poets. So one of my passions is meeting people, talking to people, finding out folks' stories, their backgrounds. And for the past 3 years, I've been kind of bringing the community together with a poetry social that I just simply call Poetry and Cupcakes. I love cupcakes. I love poetry. Two of my passions, bring them together. I don't feel like you can go wrong with that. And we just come together and we brainstorm things. We talk about current events. But most importantly, we vent. We're very assertive. No one's judged. It's just awesome. And it's really helping me build my confidence. And all we do is we sit and we laugh, we mingle, we network, we brainstorm, we discuss current events. A group of us often go out and participate in community service activities because it's not just about coming together and talking and laughing and sharing a few glasses of wine over poetry. We also want to make sure that we're taking this out and delivering positive messages and being impactful in the community. So I think that poets have so much to give because everyone has a message. And whether you're aware of it or not, you are always going to have an audience. So, being mindful of what you're saying, but also losing all inhibitions because you can be encouraging the next person is very important. But staying on topic with, I'm new at this. So I'm very excited about what the future holds. I'm inspired by, as many people are, Maya Angelou. I love her to death. I've always been a fan and admirer of Maya Angelou. And I own a couple of her books. I own her biography. I'm just a fan, from the calypso dancing to her time spent in San Francisco as a conductor on the trolley cars. I mean, she is phenomenal to me. She is a phenomenal woman. And I've been in awe of Maya. And just following her works, I know how she's made her rounds, how she was at one time muted by the trauma that she experienced in life. But she still flourished. She still blossomed into the flower that she is today. And she couldn't have done so if she would have stayed within her shell. So I'm inspired by Maya Angelou to blossom. I feel like we're all roses, you know, and I'm just a rose in bloom right now. And so my poetry and cupcakes is something that I'm really, you know, I'm really proud to share. And I just really praying that it goes somewhere. I'm praying that it invites a new group of poets, a new group of peers, a new group in general, the youth, our elders, to come together in a community and to take it beyond just a meeting room to the streets, and then give positive messages and start to feed our hungry community. I have one piece that I am extremely proud of, and not to come across sounding really arrogant, because I'm totally, completely, no. But there's one particular piece that I wrote that I am just eager to share. It's like an anthem. I love it. I wrote this. I was inspired to write this one day when just feeling down. That's when the idea came, you know, feeling at my worst, feeling low. I don't even remember why I was feeling so down, but it was one of those days, and I just needed an uplift, you know, and I read my word, and I try to receive the positive quotes on the internet. But this one day I needed to speak to Deatrice. It was no Nisha the Lovely that day. I needed to speak to myself and give myself a pick-me-up. I needed a hug. I needed to remind me that I'm great, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, and never to give my joy away to anyone for whatever reason. Because I'm pretty sure it was something work-related, but I just had to do something to lift my soul. And after I got to writing, I realized that this is something I really want to share. This is something I want sisters universally to know this, to hear this, to feel this, and to really believe this. So the title of the poem is called I Am Queen, and this refers to women, all of us, young, old. This is our poem. When I awake and observe my reflection, I love what I see. A marvelously unique sister, queen, most definitely. I am radiant when I awake, magnificent when I rise, and as I sashay throughout my day, I am beauty personified. No one can ruin my self-esteem. Nothing can break me down. Though trials come to shake my foundation, I remain firm on solid ground. I know that despite whatever will be, God's love and mercy is sheltering me. I've got mind, life, mobility, opportunity, and ability. I am sexy and tasteful. I am ambitious and bold. I am strong and courageous to the core of my soul. I am pure like a jewel in its rare state. I am confident in my brown skin. I am female. I am great. I am mother, daughter, grandmother, wife, girlfriend, sister, best friend, and auntie. But to sum it up most perfectly, I am queen, most definitely. I am queen, most definitely. It's red velvet, pumpkin spice. No, I didn't.
Which one's pumpkin spice? The yellow one?
The yellow is double lemon.
They just be so involved with that, and they wouldn't have to pay attention to me mumbling behind it.
You love me? How sweet. I love you too. That incredibly romantic word you always say to your boo. You want me? Yes, baby, I want you too. A sexier way to say I love you. You're so beautiful, sweetheart, he says as he kisses your neck. You respond with a soft moan, showing your man that respect. His touch, his embrace, that powerful way. He takes control of your body as both of you sway. Back and forth and back together again. You mind yourself to where it all began. That day at the cafe where he first walked in. You remember the goosebumps that took over your skin. You watched intriguingly in awe at the way that he moved, lustfully blinded by his masculine groove. You wondered why he ordered coffee on such a hot day, mesmerized by his smile as he received his latte. It must have been the chill he radiated all the way through, because I remember the waitress feeling it too. It was when your eyes met, it was right then that you knew that this was the man intended for you. As he made his way over to your table, you say, "What brings you to me on this fateful day?" He replies with that smile that made your knees quake. How else would I have met my future soulmate?
Empty pockets, not knowing who my friends are. In dreams we're perfect, beautiful, bigger. But reality exposes the shadow of that figure, marred by imperfections and insecurities, the weight of which would bring anyone to their knees. So here I stand, embarrassed by what you just heard, only supported by my conviction and the power of my words. Each word I speak quiets the voices of doubt, turns their voices to whimpers and my voice to a shout. Every letter, every syllable giving me strength to move myself forward and speak at length. Here I stand before you, stronger than when I began, my voice quaking, my heart shaking, but here I still stand. In this skin I am a star, in this skin I am free. In this skin I'm imperfect, but I'm perfectly me.
When I say the word vital, if y'all could just say black, like, you know, like black. Black.
What's the word phrase you gotta listen to?
Vital.
Can I
Vital.
brown?
Vital?
Vital, yeah. And you can say brown.
I say light skin. I'm gonna be black soon.
Okay. Sought, thought, feared, revered, fiery, resourceful, vital.
Black.
Like charcoal, strong and persistent. We are the fuel driving each machine, the ink covering each page, the soil nurturing each blossoming bud, from sand to water to crops to mud. We are the color, we are the definition, the strength, the pain, the loss, and the gain. We are every grain of the universe, dark, vast, and mysterious. Our soul is music, be it the chants of the Sahara, the spirituals of the cotton fields, the hymns of the pews, the soul of rhythm and blues, the passion of hip-hop non-stop, the cries of long suffering, are the sexual modes of bearing our vulnerabilities. We are soul and sound, the stolen and found, tortured, tired, mighty beings, reincarnated modern anachronistic kings and queens, resiliently made so by the Creator to be the optimum cons, artists, and great debaters. The drums beat begin at our feet. From Mother Africa to Europe to America, we are diversity, praying through adversity. With heavy hearts, swollen feet, and deflated pockets, still we rise like rockets, praying that each generation ascend a bit higher as the coal in our souls burn like fire. We are more valuable than ore, greater than the brightest stars, more spiritual than churches, morgues, and bars. That's who we are. Beautiful, powerful, black. And may we never forget that. We are more than just people of color. Until death, we are breath for each other. We are the nursing subtle breath, enduring the sputter in need of rest. We are the dirt, the seeds, and the plow, constantly farming without slowing down. Our muscle was built and sustained in the struggle. Despite the messages and lessons of our haters, we are the original innovators, demonstrating that through time a black mind is prime, from the irrigations of the Nile River to the building of this nation. And that's why this month we're worthy of celebration. Our diaspora was horrific, but prolific, because we are sought, fought, feared, revered, resourceful, vital,
Black.
vital,
Black.
vital.